seen Big Bad Wolf for a week since the morning he'd gone hunting along the new road through the forest.
Son, this road is just what we need. People always have plenty of food, and now they'll be bringing it right into the forest. Why, tricking them out of food is easier than catching a three-legged rabbit. I'll be back tonight with enough food to last us a week.
But he hadn't come back. Mother Wolf had been against the plan from the start. She had many relatives who'd lost their lives dealing with people. Now, with winter approaching, she and Little Bad Wolf were alone and hungry.
I'm not letting you leave this den until you promise to stay away from the road. No matter what your father says, you can't trust strangers.
Elby promised, but he had no intention of keeping his word. One look at his snarling fangs, and any traveler who knew anything about his father would surely part with that information. At last, he heard gravel crunching. As the footsteps drew near, he prepared to pounce.
What a weird outfit.
I feel someone watching me. Come out, whoever you are, and help me carry this basket. There's so much food I can barely lift it.
Food. Dad was right. Did you say your basket was too heavy, little girl?
Freeze, Buster! One move in your history.
Oh, please, little girl, don't skirt me with cheese spread. I'll have to spend all morning looking it out of my fur.
Well, it was either that or bop you over the head with a pepperoni. I'm too young to carry weapons.
You don't need weapons with me. What's your name?
Everyone calls me Red Riding Hood, so you might as well too. My mother got a deal on a bolt of red cloth, and she makes all my clothes from it. I talked her into adding this hood, hoping she'll use up the material before I'm 30.
It's a nice color, but not for sneaking around the woods.
Well, I've told you my name, now what's yours? Or are you going to be as mysterious as the last wolf I met?
You met another wolf on this road?
Yep, about a week ago. I trudged this way every day, although my load was much lighter then. You still haven't told me your name.
I'm Little Bad, but you can call me LB. Tell me, was this other wolf bigger than me?
Much bigger. He was a group, and you're still a pup, right?
A young adult, Red. Where did this other wolf go after you saw him?
I have no idea. He asked me 100 questions and then took off without saying goodbye.
That sounds like my dad. He's been missing for a week. Did you ask him to help you?
I sure did.
And did he help?
No way. He said, "We've all got problems, kid," and disappeared into the forest.
That had to be my father. Where are you taking all this food anyway?
Ha, that's the last thing your dad asked me before he disappeared. Are you at least going to say goodbye if I answer?
I'll promise I'll do all I can to help if you want to tell me what you told my dad.
I told him that my poor, dear old granny was sick and that I was bringing her a basket of food for my mom. Then he asked where she lived. I showed him the map my mom drew, and zip, he was gone.
And Granny's still sick?
It's very strange. I bring her a basket each day, and she moans and groans while like she's dying. And then she gives me a list of food to bring, and it's always enough to feed an army. I don't know how an old lady who lies in bed all day can work up such an appetite. She eats like a...
Hold that thought, Red. Maybe I can help out. Why don't you bring your basket this far each day, and I'll take it the rest of the way?
You would do that, but why?
I like you, Red. Not every kid would be so nice to an old lady. It shows you've got character.
Thanks, LB. You're sure different from your father. But there's one more part to the job. Granny always gives me a list for the next day. Would you bring it back here?
Sure. I'll leave it right under that big rock by the roadside.
You're the best, LB. I wish my mom could meet you. She always says, "Don't talk to strangers, dear. Stay away from strangers, dear."
My mom's the same way. I had to promise to stay away from the road before I could leave the den this morning.
Old people. Just because their generation can't be trusted, they want us to be suspicious of everyone. How can I repay you for helping me?
When Granny gets better, maybe you could bring a snack now and then for my poor mother and me. She's getting a little old to run down rabbits, and I haven't quite got the hang of hunting business yet. Dad was giving me lessons when he disappeared.
Poor LB. I've never had a father, so I know how you feel. It's a deal. Let's shake on it.
Just one more thing, Red. Are there other houses on Granny Street?
Sure, why?
Well, some folks act funny when they see a wolf in the neighborhood. How about lending me that red cloak so I can disguise myself when I leave the forest?
It's yours, Little Bad. I've got a closet full of them. Don't ask, LB. I hate Babbitses.
Happy to be free of her load, Red jogged off toward home. Elby grunted as he picked up the basket. No wonder Red was dragging it. He had to see for himself the old lady who could eat this much in one day. If only there was some way to lighten the basket.
to my room, dear, and bring the basket. I'm too sick to get up.
Even though the day was sunny, Granny's bedroom was quite dark. She pulled all the shades. As LB's eyes got used to the darkness, he could see the old lady lying in bed. The covers were pulled up almost to her eyes. On her head, she wore a nightcap.
Just leave the basket by the bed, dear. Then feel free to run along. I don't want you wasting your whole day on an old lady like me.
But how are you feeling, Granny?
About the same, dear. I hope you're not catching something yourself. Your voice sounds different today.
Just a little cold, Granny. Nothing to worry about. Let me feel your nose to see if it's dry.
That's how you tell if an animal's sick. People are sick when their foreheads are hot.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Anyway, let me feel.
No, dear. I took my temperature just before you arrived, and it was perfectly normal.
I've forgotten, Granny. What is normal?
Oh, you know, not too hot, not too cold.
Let me look in your eyes, then to see if they're clear.
I'm fine, Red, really. Now just take my list from the table by the door, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, Pop.
Why, you little rascal. What did you do with Red?
Sent her home. I'm her new delivery boy. Where's Granny? Did you...
No, those old people are all skin and bones. They're not worth eating. She was gone when I got here. She tacked this note to the door.
Dear granddaughter, thank you for bringing me soup, but as you see, I'm not here to eat it. By the time you get here, I'll be in an airplane. My doctor says the only way I'll feel better is if I soak up some rays, so I'm off to Florida. Tell your mom I'll see her in the spring. Love, Granny.
Does anybody stay with their family anymore?
What's that supposed to mean?
Mom's been worried sick, Pop. All she can think about is her brother who had so much trouble with that boy Peter, and her uncle who had lost his life on that pig farm. And you've been lying here stuffing your face.
You've got me all wrong, son. Granny's got a huge freezer in the basement. I've been packing food into it all week.
What good is that, Pop? We can't carry the freezer out of here, and sooner or later, Red is bound to catch on.
Don't worry about that kid. She's been here 6 times and still thinks I'm her granny. She must be dumb as a rock. But come downstairs with me, LB, and I'll show you what your old dad's been doing.
Big Bad Wolf led LB downstairs and opened Granny's giant freezer. LB began to salivate. The freezer was crammed with roasts, sandwiches, stews, pizzas, cakes, and pies.
Let's eat, Pop. Then we'll bring some food back to Mom.
Come here, boy.
Big Bad Wolf squeezed behind the freezer and motioned for LB to follow. They stood peering into a hole in the earthen floor.
I've started a tunnel leading to the woods. Once it's finished, we can go in and out all winter, grabbing food whenever we're hungry.
How far have you gotten, Dad?
Not far. The ground is as hard as a hunter's heart, but together, I'm sure we'll make better progress.
Come out from behind the freezer with your hands. Paws up.
The 2 wolves walked forward on their hind legs with their front paws raised and shielding their eyes.
Lie down on the floor and don't move.
The shocked wolves obeyed. Mercifully, the lights went off.
That's them, officers. The 2 rats, 4 mean wolves who tricked me.
LB tried to smooth things over.
Hi, Red. I found your missing food. My Pop and I are hiding down here to catch the crooks who are bothering your Granny.
Save your breath, Forval, and read this.
Red flicked a postcard across the room. It landed on the floor in front of the wolves' snouts.
Dear Red, the weather is beautiful. Wish you were here. Just kidding. I miss you, but this Florida sunshine is doing the trick. Your old Granny feels like a kid again. Not all my friends are so lucky, Red. I'm worried about my next door neighbors. They're stuck at home all winter, so I need a big favor. Could you and your mom bring them a daily basket? It would put my mind at ease. Wait till you see the great bathing suit I'm bringing back for you. It's bright red, your favorite color. Love, Granny.
Anything you can say and will be used against you in the court of the law.
2 blue uniforms with shiny shoes, badges, and pistols tower over him and his dad. 1 officer is holding an enormous flashlight.
Well, miss, we've got the big one on a 1043, impersonating a septuagenarian.
That means dressing like your granny.
And a 618, unlawful entry with intent to commit a felony.
He broke into the house in conspiracy to deceive a 749er. He tried to trick you.
As for the little guy,
Stop! All Reform school for the small one and prison for the big one. Wolves are pretty crafty, but they can't get out of this.
And what happens to all the food in Granny's freezer?
It's impounded as evidence.
That means it's going to waste, and the old couple next door goes hungry. Unless my mother spends the whole winter cooking and I spend it dragging baskets through the woods. I've got a better idea.
The law is the law.
What if they admit they're guilty? Could they get off with community service?
No way. I got them Red Pod. They're going to jail.
What's your idea, Red?
Why can't they pay back their debt to society by distributing all this food to people? These two can make sure no one in the neighborhood goes hungry.
Oh great, we'll be errand boys.
It's your choice, lady. But if these two miss one delivery, they're mine.
Don't worry, officer. Give the neighbors my phone number. One complaint, and you can have these cooks.
Then we'll also have them on a 325. Failure to satisfy a verbal agreement. I like it.
At last, Big Bad Wolf and Little Bad were allowed to go back to the woods, their tails between their legs. They weren't looking forward to explaining their new obligation to Mother Wolf.
Need her at home?
Thanks, officers, but I'm in no hurry. My mother is going to find me guilty of a 1-2000.
Gee, even I don't know that one.
She told me once. She told me twice. She told me 1,000 times not to talk to strangers.